What's up, cool people? I'm Matt Conroy, and gonna do another music top video thing. This time, I'm actually gonna be doing a couple of videos split into two parts to cover my top 25 favorite Skillet songs. I've mentioned before how much I like Skillet, basically a lot. It was really, really hard for me to even just narrow down this list at all. Never mind try and place them as far as favorites and like in terms of any number of, okay, this is my number one favorite, number 2, 3, 4, 5. I could maybe place a top 5 and maybe get spots 25 to 20 on this, but everything in between would just be such a jumbled up mess in my head that I could never, ever feel satisfied with it. So, rather than trying to do it in that sort of order, I took the 25 songs that I narrowed down as at least most of my favorites and kind of tried to sort them into some different categories. And I'll explain a little more about the different categories and what they mean when I get into it. But basically, they came down to what I'm going to call request songs, fight songs, worship songs, and confession songs, with a few others that I labeled as kind of, miscellaneous, kind of outliers almost. And I also recognize there's going to be some crossover possibly between these different songs and their themes, but I tried to sort them out based on what I feel like was the primary theme, especially lyrically within each song. I really don't want to explain too much more before I get into this, because otherwise I'm not going to have time. Speaking of not having time, though, I don't think I'm actually going to include clips of the songs in these videos, because I feel like I don't have time to do that and thoroughly explain each song without making these videos too long for my liking. Also, because YouTube copyright stuff hits me every stinking time. That's all I'm going to explain for now. So, in no particular order, here are my top 25 favorite Skillet songs. And in this video in particular, I'm going to be covering 12 of them. So, 12 of my top 25 favorite Skillet songs. And to start with, I'm gonna start with the request category that I've made. These are songs that I feel like are mostly asking for help. Like, there might be other stuff mixed in there, but it's mostly just crying out to God or to anyone who will listen, saying like, hey, I can't keep going like this. I need help. I need either someone to come alongside me or some way of getting out of this situation. So, that's kind of the request category in a nutshell. I'm going to start this off with the song Comatose. And Comatose stands out as a top Skillet song pretty much no matter what your thoughts are on how much you like the song in particular. Because to me, this, really the album as a whole, but even this specific song, solidified like the now typical violin section in Skillet songs. Like, before this album, violins weren't really a big part of Skillet's overall music collection and what they put out. There were some songs here and there, sure, but this album kind of hit us with that more than any album before, and I think, again, kind of established that as a staple. I mean, if you look into the lyrics for the whole need help kind of theme almost, I mean, the chorus says, I don't want to live, I don't want to breathe, unless to feel you next to me. Because, like, that's what life with God should be. It should be all about God and our passion for God and our desire to share that with other people. And, I mean, yes, in a way this song fits into other categories as well, but I feel like just because it's the idea of leaning on God so heavily is what stands out most to me in this song, so that's why I put it in the, like, request category that I've made up. And since I'm already 6 minutes into this video, I'm going to try and go a little quicker through the rest of the songs. So up next, I'm going to put the song Save Me in this category as well. This one I like instrumentally, as well as just thematically. It's got a pretty awesome guitar solo. But again, the overall theme of it is just saying that, like, I'm stuck, I'm in trouble, I can't fix this myself. And it talks about, you know, reaching for the light, but the chorus is help me tonight. And, or at least that's a line that gets repeated multiple times throughout the chorus. So, yeah, and even just the name of the song, Save Me, it's asking for help. God, please save me. So, moving on to my next entry in this list, I'm going to use the song Reach as an example of this as well. I think the main feeling that I get from this is almost like kind of feeling lost. I mean, the song literally asks in the chorus, says, "Where are you? I can't find you." So I can't figure this out. I don't know where you are. Help me find you. You reach for me since I can't seem to find you to know where to reach for you. And once again, another song with good instrumentation and all that. There's a couple of moments where the guitar part in the chorus stands out as, you know, a little more dynamic and interesting. But in any case, for this song, or really any of these, I'm going to ask that you look them up to hear these songs, to know what I'm talking about in terms of, like, instrumentals, or even to get a better sense of the lyrics and the themes of these. But I don't have time for that right now. So, the last song I'm going to put in my request song category is going to be the song Out of Hell. I really like this one because of, like, the heavy distortion. It's got much of a harder rock vibe to it. But again, like, song saying, you know, get me out of hell. I am stuck. I am trapped in this situation. I'm fighting, but, like, I'm also tired of fighting. Like, I don't know how much more I could take. So please, God, get me out of this. Deliver me from evil, in a sense. Real quick, before I move on to the next category, I should probably mention the albums these songs come from, because that might make looking them up easier. Comatose, the album is that title. Save Me and Reach both come from the Victorious album, which, at least as I'm recording this, is Skillet's latest. Out of Hell then comes from Unleashed. So if you want to look those up, you might be able to find them a little easier by looking up the albums too. Anyway, moving on to the fight song category. And this one, I have 8 songs in this category. Skillet's a really great band for just, like, getting yourself kind of pumped up, and they often have themes of, like, you know, fighting and resistance and stuff within their songs. The first song I'm going to mention in this category is Legendary, which is from the Victorious album. I like the song in part because of, you know, the instruments and that kind of stuff. It has a really, really catchy hook right before the chorus. It just kind of, like, winds you up for this, like, punch that then comes at the start of the chorus. But, I mean, again, as far as this being a fight song, the lyrics talk about, I'm never going to stop. You're never going to keep me down. I'm still standing. That kind of stuff. Those weren't direct quotes of the lyrics, but they were pretty close. So, yeah, you could tell what kind of song this is just from looking at those lyrics as well. And I definitely recommend searching this song and getting a feel for it if you haven't heard it before and you're looking for something to just kind of pump you up and energize you and, just get you ready to take on the world. So, in a slightly different sense, Sick of It isn't so much like fighting against the world as like, I'm tired. I'm tired of life's issues. I'm tired of all the strife, all the pain, all this crummy stuff that I'm going through in life, or that I see and hear. So, the chorus of this asks, are you sick of it? And basically says, if you are, then raise your hands. Now, the raise your hands could be taken one of two ways for the most part. Raising your hands could be like that whole, revolt, raise your hands in resistance kind of thing. Or it could also be referring to raise your hands as like, lift your hands up to God, give up your own need or desire for control of your own situation and just give it to God. I like to think there's some of both intended there, but again, I think just because of the overall feeling of there's just a bunch of crummy stuff in life and I'm tired of it, and wanting to go against that and change that is why I have this kind of in my fight song category. Also, just the overall vibe. It's much more of a rockin' out kind of song than it is like a woe is me sort of thing. All right. So now I'm going to get into the song Feel Invincible. Not to be confused with just Invincible, which is the name of a song and even an album from earlier in Skillet's library. Oh, by the way, Sick of It is from the album Rise. Feel Invincible is from Unleashed. The song Feel Invincible, I mean, again, has that kind of getting you pumped sort of feel to it. And ultimately, it's kind of like the idea of if God is for me, then what could stand against me? You make me feel invincible are the literal word for word lyrics that come from the song. You being God in this case. So, moving on. Next song on this list is going to be Awake and Alive from the album Awake. Sometimes I get those confused and want to call the album Awake and Alive, but no, the album is just Awake. But this song, the very first words in the song say, I'm at war with the world. So, again, there's that resistance, fighting against what's wrong in this world kind of idea to it. It also says with the very next words, and they try to pull me into the dark. So, really, the idea of standing firm in what you believe and resisting whatever the world throws at you in favor of, what God wants. Don't listen to the world and what it says you should be. Listen to God. Stand firm in your faith in God and your knowledge that God is ultimately the one who will give you what you need. And he also even just gives you the strength to persist through all of that, whatever is going on in your life. Also, quick side note, this is my wake up alarm tone. So, literally every morning I wake up and I'm thinking this in my head. before like anything else. Anyway, moving on to the next song. I'm gonna put the song "Rise" in here as well from the album of the same name, Rise. This is kind of a somewhat lyrically complex song, and I kind of like that about it. There are also parts that say, rise and revolution, so there's the fight song vibe to it. But again, it's like standing together, not just each one of us being separated or anything like that. You're not alone in this. And just the way it goes into the chorus again really gets me pumped up on this one. But yeah, so for the overall pump up feel and the lyrics overall and just the general theme, definitely up there on my list. The Resistance is another song that I want to talk about. This one is actually the last track in Skillet's Unleashed album. And first off, I'm kind of going backwards in the song, but there's a little bit of like a fake out ending on this, which I kind of like, because for like 2 seconds they make you think the song's over, but then it comes back in and just rocks out really hard for like another minute and a half or so. But this one's got another stand together kind of vibe. And one particular line that I kind of wanted to point out in this, in one of the verses, right near the end of that verse, it has the line, "Used to be a slave, but now you are a conqueror." And that's pretty much ripped straight out of Scripture, straight out of the Bible. And it kind of gives you the idea of what this song is about. It's like you are triumphant, you are strong, you're powerful, you can resist the evils of this world. And I mean, again, it's more of a standing together kind of idea, but it's like we're strong when we stand together, I guess, is the broader picture. Anyway, 2 more songs to go. Next one I'm going to cover is Back from the Dead. Very much a favorite of mine. Probably top 5. I'm not going to say where in the top 5, but yeah, this song just gets me so pumped. Oh my gosh. Oh, and this is from Unleashed as well. Just thought I'd put that out there. It's got an awesome guitar solo. And if you watch the music video, they're like fighting zombies in it. It's awesome. But in any case, really just the song as a whole really gets you pumped up. And good kind of fight song type lyrics almost as well. And I kind of get the feeling that the whole being back from the dead idea is a reference to the thought in Scripture that we're dead in our sin until we, rise, we rise with Christ as he did from the dead. And, baptism is kind of a reflection of that whole idea. But so I think it's like a being dead in sin reference, and the reason they're fighting zombies in this idea is these zombies are representing creatures that are, yes, they're moving around, but they're not human. They're kind of dead in a way, even though they're moving around and doing things. So the zombies in that are kind of the idea of how we are when we're dead in sin, and, we don't yet have Christ's redemption and salvation within us. So, anyway, I need to stop babbling on about one particular song. Last entry, Circus for a Psycho, from the album Rise. Oh my gosh. instrumentally, this is absolute favorite in that regard, for sure. And as far as a song that gets me pumped up, number one, hands down, just listen to the intro of this song. It is freaking awesome. And it has a good guitar solo on top of that. And really, in terms of general themes of this song and its lyrics, it says kind of, I mean, my sense of it is that it's kind of fighting through some inner conflict. You know, it says get ready for a fight, but at the same time, it's like, I want off, it talks about getting off the titular circus for a psycho. So I think with that being the way that the lyrics are laid out, especially in the chorus, I think it's more so like inner struggle, not necessarily external, but the external might be, you know, sin within kind of invading. So a little bit of both internal and external, I guess, but more so referring to how that sin creeps in and causes the internal struggle and fighting through that. So, anyway, that covers the 12 songs that I'm going to do in this video. Make sure to tune in next time, which will probably be next week from when I publish this one. Whatever. Make sure when it comes out that you watch the next part. That'll cover the final 13 songs out of my top 25 with the other categories and stuff like that. But until then, like and share if you enjoyed this one. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell so you'll know when I upload the next part and publish that. So then you can see it shortly after instead of maybe just stumbling across it at some later time. But in any case, yeah, look down in the description for info on different ways to keep up with my YouTube channel, my social media pages, and all that good stuff. And leave your comments down in the description with your thoughts on these songs, how much you like the songs I've listed here, songs that you would include as your like top favorite Skillet songs. Just keep in mind, I haven't listed all of my favorites just yet. So don't try and get all up in a tizzy because I didn't include your favorite song yet. Haven't even gotten through my whole list yet. But anyway, whatever ideas and thoughts you have for me, let me know down below. So that's it for now. As always, I hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I will see you for the next part. But until then, stay cool, people.